invited me. I would like to start by saying it's a tradition of this country. Whoever comes to Australia, the first thing we say, welcome to Australia. So this side, welcome to Australia. For Pieng, I know James has been here for a while, so has already been welcomed. I would like also to say welcome to Australia, to Mother Adelaide, and welcome to Australia to Bishop Peter Bolaro. I've been asked with a short notice to give a brief presentation of our success and the issues we had in this state of South Australia. May I go back to maybe remind all of us that I will not use the word general, I'll be using the word comrade, because Excellency, Honorable, General, and all this, sometimes they put us a distance apart. So if I may borrow the word comrade, and I may ask everyone who come later to just say Comrade PM, Comrade James, Comrade Adelaide. That brings us closer to each other. So if you forgive me, I will be using the word comrade. The state of South Australia hosted a population of about 19,000 Africans. And in Australia, in particular, we have around 350,000. And within that population, South Sudanese population is number 3. We have about 30,000. South Africa is the leading, followed by Egypt, and we are number 3. Everyone else come after us. May I also try to mention that the state of South Australia is a blessed state, and I believe the first South Sudanese who came to Australia, if there is another person, was Ben Yangi, and it was believed to have come in early 70s, 72, 73 there. So that was the first person from South Sudan who came to Australia. And his name is Ben Yangi. And I believe the second person, from my understanding, was Pieng Deng Kuol. And they both came to South Australia, followed by one of us, our teacher, Comrade Pieng Deng, and I believe most of us followed thereafter. So the population we have in South Australia, or in Australia in general, South Australia had a significant history in the history of the Australian arrival of the people from South Sudan. So we have a population of 19,000 of the African, and we believe that South Sudanese might be around 12,000. And within those 12,000, we have issues as we've seen in Victoria, but we believe we're still holding on. And what I was about to say is that I would just ask to say how many people who come from the Jesh al-Ahmar background who have succeeded in education. I tried to gather the statistic, but I was not successful. But we had a brief graph of statistics. The only community who have a complete statistic is a community of John Leslie, which is the border community. They have around 301 graduates from the diploma to the PhD level. So we have around 301 from the border community. And I went through the list that we have already had, and I could see in total we have about 530 total included, border community included, graduates from the university and the college from diploma to a PhD level. So roughly, a big number of them is from Georgia Hammer. And I think that is also a big success to present to you tonight. Most of the qualifications that we have required, most of us now are in mid-40s, and most of us are in late 40s. And we have quite those education. We just want to encourage the coming generation. I don't know whether the qualifications that we have acquired will have a road back home, but I just want to assure you that what the leadership of the movement was telling us, that you were going to school, I believe we have heard that and we have worked for it for a long time, and now most of us become graduates. Even though we don't use those qualifications, we are proud of them, and we want to give a special thanks to those who were caretakers, particularly me, I was in Pieng, so I know Comrade Pieng was my caretaker. I had a brief chat with Comrade Pieng yesterday, and I asked how old he was, but he said roughly he was about 26 years old. So if I ask among us here who is 26 years old, looking after over 20,000 children, I think that was amazing. So I would like to give a special thanks to General Pieng for his courage, his leadership, not forgetting those who were also with him. I would also like to give a special thanks to Mama Adelaide for doing the same thing that General Pieng has done to us. And my understanding was James Host, Comrade James was also part of DEMO and Dr. Atim. Not forgetting our great teacher, Mr. Jangalak. On behalf of the Judge Alhammer, on behalf of Seed of Nations, I would like to give you special thanks for your care, for your courage, and for giving special attention to those of us. Me standing here, I wrote a horrific account of what happened in Pieng, of what happened in our journey as Judge Alhammer. So it is relevant to Comrade Pieng. I'm going to give a copy of my book as present to Comrade Pieng. I'm not trying to ignore everyone else, but I'm trying to say, Comrade Pieng, this is what you have done to us, and review it, and I'm in preparation to write a second edition of that. Because the title of book is now irrelevant. The title of book is From Tyranny to Triumph, a proud citizen of South Sudan and Australia. If the next title, if the next version come in, I might not be proud citizen of both countries. I might be, I don't know, a shameful citizen of South Sudan. I don't know whether that is going to be the title, but nevertheless, it's a temptation. So I'm going to give a copy of my book to Comrade Pieng. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul Grant. That was a great presentation. Paul has described how far we have come, and some of us are doing well academically. So thank you, Paul. I will continue to what I was doing before I invited Paul. That is one area where we have succeeded at Hammer. That is the area of education. The second area that we have succeeded in is the area of economy. Most of, about 8%, let me say, of our people are participating actively in the workforce or in the job market. This is a great achievement. That providing for their families and also that paying taxes to the nation. The second part where we have succeeded, the third part where we have where we have succeeded as a Geshamar in this part of the world in the area of health, and especially back home. As we know, our country is not stable financially, and when a country is not stable, areas of health and other sectors are affected. So what we have done as a Geshamar, the role that we have played, and the role that we will continue to play, is the role of paying for the bills for the sick people back home. The fourth area, is the area of education. A number of us have sponsored their relatives or friends, and this one contributes to the growth of the nation. So we have done a lot as diaspora. We have provided quality education in the neighboring countries. The fifth contribution that we are making is in the area of social investment. 98 or 95% of Geshamar who went to Ethiopia in 1987 are families. This is a social development, and we think that it's an achievement. These families got children, and we continue to produce the next generation of South Sudanese. The last one, but not least, we have been good ambassadors. Before the CPA was signed in 2005, before Geshamar came to America in 2005, the problem of South Sudan was not known. So when we came to this part of the world, we contacted our local leaders. And most of us went to the Congress in the White House to tell them that we got a problem in South Sudan. So Geshamar have been good ambassadors. This is the role that we have played and will continue to play. Given the point that I have just mentioned above, what do we need now as a Geshamar? What role do we want to play now? We need three things. And these three things will be done collectively, and will have a collective contribution toward them. The first one is peace and stability. We need peace and stability in our country, so that children who are school age continue to go to school. A farmer who wants to till his land or her land will continue to do the farming without any fear. A business person who wants to do business will continue to prosper or flourish without fear of unknown. The second one, as mentioned by Volker before, in Australia we are a big number as South Sudanese. And South Sudan and Australia are all our countries. So the second command of South Sudanese in Australia is to have an embassy or consulate in Canberra. Be the second man, so that we can put our issues through. The third one is what goes to our comrades. We know that in the world of technology, anyone can come up and write fake history. Comrade Pieng, Comrade James, Mama Dadit, the true heroes, the true liberators. We want you to write the correct history of our liberation struggle. Ladies and gentlemen, those few remarks, can we put our hands together to welcome our guests to South Australia? I will speak to Ika a little bit because I can stand to a number of people are Ika speakers. So I will try to explain to them what I'm just talking about. Yeah, we can lay with what we come on, village, what you met. Buddha Bishop General Hood, General Pieng Deng Yani Kuol. Yen command what he will cool not on them one. Could we avoid the job and walk or put tea who are in here to be watching, the door watching, and the Adelaide watching. Kerro, a man there walk at one bank. Bank war you call the young law 1987, most of us went was in 7. So here they walk at Pieng Kuol and move you one again. I remember 1987 first meeting with a rally. Or there walk and yellow walk, so we rode below Pieng and Jamara to be told. What any jolly and a matter, yet you being a young walk. So walk on point of play to be up. Because we could not understand him being a way. But I kept your the kept your boarding. So I like a little okay. Kremwan. Who young or walk on wall of contribution to the door, then by so I get the young who would think it's no here walk with it, who yet no here what young thing. Then go where I lay your.
Thank you very much, Philip and Paul, for your amazing presentation. And I would like to acknowledge that presentation as the essence of us being here today, because it actually gives details of why we all went out to the bush at such a young age. We'll proceed, but let me just make one anecdotal comment. We are here today because South Sudan is independent. We also know that the British invaded or colonized South Sudan in the early 1890s. They left South Sudan in around 1953. Now, we've been colonized for 63 years. And most of that, none of the Junubin or South Sudanese were actually in any of the leadership. None of them was proud. None of them was happy. And none of them was actually worthy to call themselves the Sudanese at the time. We also know that we've been subjected to further marginalization from 1953 until 2005 when we attained the CPA. Now that is 53 years. Add those years together, 63 and 52 years, you have roughly 115 years while there was nothing called a South Sudanese or a Junubi. Ain't this a beautiful day? It's a question for all of us. Isn't this a beautiful day? Yes, it is. The reason why I bring that up is because we today have a nation, we today have sovereignty, and we today are proud. We shall never once again go back. So we have to manage with the future we have, no matter how bad it is today. Ladies and gentlemen, the next speaker will be Bishop Bolaro, who was one of the prominent individuals in those hard times. And I would want Reverend Chaplain at the time, John Ogudo, to come and welcome him for a few spiritual words. Thank you very much. Okay, so I understand that leadership to the next speaker, as he's not ready yet, although he's among us today. The next speaker, which is a very important position, Katibabanan. Katibabanan Boye! Katibabanan Boye! Are they here? All right. Look, somebody told me that Katibabanan and Jay Shamer were actually two sides of the same coin, because they literally were together all along the struggle. So in that position, I'll give one prominent individual. She's also a very high-ranking officer, Yak Maket Luke, if she's here. Welcome.
Young Military. My rank is I'm Brigadier General in the Army. I'm from Katiba Banat. Some of them, they are not here. This is why I didn't sing Katiba Banat song, because no one is going to help me. I would like to welcome General Pieng Deng Kuol, General James Bosmai, Brigadier General our mother Adar Arop, our father Bol Arop, and our elder General Ajang Agar. You are all highly welcome tonight. You are all highly welcome, ladies and gentlemen, tonight. We are here tonight to welcome our General Pieng Deng Kuol. We are here today to honor them and to say thank you to them for the way they look after Jeshal Ahmed. On behalf of Jeshal Ahmed, I would like to say thank you and thank you to our mother, Nes Adar Arop. Thinking of our heroes who have died for the sake of our country, bring back to our memories the hardship in which we stood together as Jeshal Ahmed and Katiba Banat in front. SPLM was distinguishable because our leaders of liberation movement placed Jeshal Ahmed and Katiba Banat in the center of the revolution. Our beloved son, Dr. John Garang Dimabio, who led the movement to independence, believed that the ordinary women and men have the capabilities to achieve the goal of the movement. Katiba Banat stood side by side with the men in armed struggle as comrades and leaders of the liberation movement and royal citizen of South Sudan. Women did a lot of participation during the war. This is why we have got 25%. Women, indeed, make up 80% of South Sudan population. Their votes during the referendum 2011 counted 100% for total independence of our country from Sudan. This is a big achievement. Today, we are going to give thanks to Jeshal Ahmed because they did a lot of things. They finished their education. Some of them, 3/4 of them, they have degrees. Even we have doctors. I can mention 3 names of them. We have Dr. Paul Atim, we have Dr. John Alera Bo, and also we have Dr. Kuol Anyon. And ladies are also on the way. They are going to be doctors soon. I'm going to give other thanks to our strong man, Dr. John Garang Dimabio. He thought for 22 years about the suffering of his people, Nuba Mountain, Angasana, and Southerners. His death brought shock and sadness among us since we were hoping that he could enjoy his mission outcomes. Once again, I would like to give thanks to His Excellency Salva Kiir Mayardit. He raised up our flag and hosted on to the Wellness Day on our names. And thanks for all of you for the conclusion of the self-determination. My other thanks is going to the orphans and widowers. What took their husbands and their kids or their wife is what we have now, our country, South Sudan. Whoever lost his part of body, whoever lost her husband, you need to walk with your heads up, proud of your country, South Sudan. My message to you is this: let us support our leaders back home there. Don't let enemies buy you so that you destroy your country. Let us stand firm and support our people. Protect your country like the way you protect your eyes. You cannot leave your eyes to get dust. You have to my other thanks is going to our mother, Adelaide Arrow. Having more educated women with greater rights could make the single biggest difference to reduce childhood diseases. This is what our mother did in Pieng. I'm going to give other thanks to a man who chose Pieng to be a place for Jeshalamba. That man is called Mordecai. Maket is the one who chose Pieng to be your place. I'm going to mention this not because he's my dad. I want you to know this because we are here tonight to acknowledge whoever did what he did during that time. He's the one who chose Pieng because he lived there during Anyanya 1 at a place called Agena. And I myself, to prove it to you, I was born in Addis Ababa. Uncle Ajang Alak knows this. This is what was happening. I'm going to mention also our mother Abie, Akate Kwai. Late Abie. She was a nurse in Pieng. And in Ita we have our mother body is here. Our mother, wife of late hero Paul Ayualno, is here. Our mother, Paul Machet, wife of Machet, she's not here tonight. They were there with us in Ita. So, Comrade Pieng, your gentlemen are successful. This is what I'm going to tell you now. Thank you all. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brigadier General Sarah Ayak Makerduk. Very incredible words of encouragement and, of course, of acknowledgement. As we proceed, I would just like to quickly mention that the importance of Mama Brigadier General Victoria Adelaide to South Sudan is almost that of the lady called Joan of Arc. Most of you would recognize the history of the French Revolution. Joan of Arc was a woman or a female general in the 100 Years' War in the French during the 14th, 15th century. So she was canonized to be a saint. So we have Saint Joan of Arc right now in front. So I say this as my own word. Mama Brigadier General Victoria Adelaide should be, could be, need to be canonized as a saint in South Sudan history. Our next speaker, and we go for a break, will be one prominent individual, an officer of high ranking in the military of South Sudan, Mr. Joel Abraham Kuchko. On behalf of all officers, Mr. Joel Abraham, welcome. is not available, then we did make a reservation of speakers, and we also had another great general who was to talk at a later time, but we'll give him this chance at the moment. We have two of them, just a minute. We'll give this to General Pieng Deng Kuol to represent all the offices at this given moment. Thank you.
Another story, Mark Kirabun, those are Mark Kirabun. Those are Mark Kirabun. Kita actually have another tag of the sun, another line tag of the sun. Now the Yana, the Buddha like that. Should have given up. I think Kiramun. And I want another layer to look up for the Japan. We have here for look up the Japan. Layer of Buddha. Mouth of Arana, sorry, elected. Okay, Mamma had it, sorry. The food of the Daniel. I shall sell over and Mamma, a father came out and had it. Look away, not sorry. Clear the absolute of a good way, lay clean up, we shall mana, sorry. Okay, Sylvia, sorry. Number Martin, King, I am the best. Wow. Rose for it. Wow, he let me in. King, Robert, wow, Usham. Jama Fu, Sakamau, Jama Juan, Sakamau, Saru, Yamato, that's all. Guide. There was very good. She didn't like it so well. I'll Mala Benaman, Maria Daman, Yama Yumina, the Bull Club. You didn't find it? She's a book. He had a birthday of Edena, sorry. He had a birthday of Edena, and then it happened. Okay, that's all right about the Edena. We have it all to the Kira. Lumayan juga. Ada cakap apa? Cakap. Dia cakap apa? Kita dulu tadi dulu juga. Enak hidup deh. Nah, dulu apa? Nak tak hidup. Mana ada kan? Ada kalau mana? Dari dia, okay, dia apa support? Lumayan kiran. Leh, enak dia. Free, alat kerja. Mayu kita tak ada kerja pun. Jadi di fokus apa di fokus? Siapa pakai apa dari aku? Zaman saat, berbulu macam asal kurma sekali itu, kurma begini apa ni? Dua orang, ada dua orang, masih kongko. Ini kalau sos sudah, kita sos sudah, orang beli orang, masih kau tak ada, malu kita kerap beli apa? Itu masuk dia apa? Macam kita sos sudah dia di semua orang beli. Maka dari itu saya boleh ada dua mau cerita masalah di dalam dengan hospital. Apa ni? Apa tu macam? Mana beli apa? Mana so? Ya, urut, begitu. Awak itu besar, awak begitu. Boleh bersih aja. Saya ada besar. Thank you.
Well, that was a powerful delivery of all that is mighty about South Sudan and its gathered forces that have actually delivered us independence. Thank you very much, General. This is the final phase for the first phase of our evening. We will shortly go for a break and we'll proceed with our guest speakers. Don't despair, we only have 3 people before our guest speakers to actually grace us with the amazing word. So stay put, we have 2 hours to go, and we'll definitely make sure that those 2 hours should fit us. Quick announcement, individuals who are part of the organizing team, I hear that there are some water at the back or at the boot of the car, so may somebody please collect them. So let's have this 5-minute break, and let's dance to the tunes of the Liberation Struggle songs. Thank you very much.